Hey folks, Digger Does here. Welcome back to my channel. You're probably asking yourself, Doug, why do you dress like you're going for a walk? And what does this have to do with self-defense? Well, it's getting ready to start getting warmer around here, and I'm going to start hiking again. And I want to talk about what I carry with me while I'm hiking for not only hiking, to assist me while hiking, but also what I would use for self-defense. Now, before I get started, let me take off the hat and sunglasses so you can see my adorable face. Haha. Um, the reason why I wanted to do this video is so that y'all will have some understanding as to why I carry some of the things I do. I do have a disability, and at times while I'm walking, I need some assistance. And it's also good to have something in my hand just in case I get into a situation where I might need assistance with more than just using my hands. I might need a weapon. So normally when I go for a walk, I carry with me a walking stick. This is my favorite one. This is usually the one you'll see me carrying. I have another one that's about the same length, and I'll say it's probably just a little over, I'd say right at about 4 feet long. And it's right about the same length that I want. I don't want anything that's too tall or too short. Um, and how would I use this in a situation? Well, it depends on how I'm holding it or how I'm standing. Now, if I'm just standing, like I'm talking to someone, I'm going to have both hands on it, like this, like I'm holding a broom handle. And all I'm really wanting to do is to keep someone off of me if it gets too close. Imagine you have a bubble around you. You don't want anyone in that bubble. And my bubble is a 6-foot bubble. I don't want anyone within 6 feet of me. Well, how do I gauge that? Well, if I have someone who's being aggressive toward me and is walking toward me like they're meaning business, what I would do is I will kind of turn sideways and hold my stick up, the point of it up, kind of like, hey, back off. That's one way I can gauge my opponent where he is within range of my bubble. Same thing if I have someone on the side of me, I'm going to stick that stick out. That way they know, don't go any farther than that stick. Two, I can use this as leverage, like if a guy's trying to choke me or whatever. I could thread it through his arms, push down on it, and it'll loosen his grip, give me the opportunity to put in a strike or two, whatever. That's how I would use this one. Sometimes I carry a cane, sometimes I carry a stick. So I'm going to show you various sticks and canes that I carry as well. Let me grab one of these guys. I'll show you the latest addition to my collection. This is actually made from a golf club. I had another one like this. It was a putter, a little bit longer. In fact, I prefer my walking canes, to be about equal with my hip, about 3 feet in length, about where my hip would be. This one's a little shorter, so I probably wouldn't carry this as much, but I just thought it was cool, and I thought, man, I gotta grab me that. Here, let me put it in there a little bit closer for you to see it. It was free. I was at a thrift store for this thrift store. It's sponsored by the ASPCA, and I just happened to go in there one day looking for games, and they had this, and I thought, well, you know what, that'd be a pretty cool addition to my cane collection. Now, how would I use this on the street, or how would I carry it? Well, it all depends on where I'm walking. Um, if I'm just walking around the neighborhood, I'll either carry it like this, like I'm choked up in the middle of it, or near the closer to the grip end, and that way I'll have some kind of grip to, something I can hold on to. But I usually carry it in the middle of the stick as I'm walking. I don't always use it for support, but when I do, a stick like this that has no real handle, I'll put my palm over the top of it. Or not my palm, I'll grab near the top and put my thumb over the top of it. Almost like I'm using it like a ski. You know what I mean? The pole for skiing, kind of like that. And what I'm going to do in a self-defense situation, I may use it in a manner of just clearing my bubble. Like if I have someone in my bubble, I'm going to come up and over to kind of, hey, back off. Okay, I want those guys to stay out of my bubble. So all I'm going to do is do like a sweeping motion back and forth. All right, that's how I would use a cane like this in a situation. Okay, now the next one is just a simple stick. Now I grabbed one that's a little longer because it's about the same length as my canes. In fact, all this is a dowel rod that I found in my garage. And I find them to be a great use for training. I wouldn't want to carry really, I don't think it would stand up to striking someone real hard with it, but it would do the job. And there's two ways I would carry this stick. One is in the middle, just like my cane, or two toward the end. Traditional carry. That way, I can react pretty quick with it. I can use the tip to clear my bubble. Get back. Or in the middle again, I'll do that sweeping motion. Get back, stay out of my bubble. Another thing that the reason why I prefer sticks and canes is because one, it's one of the few items, self-defense items, that is legal to carry. For one, it's out here in the state of Oklahoma. You can carry anything on your person as long as you do not commit public harm and you do not conceal it. So this is in my hand. You can see it as I'm walking. So I'm not looking to commit harm. I'm just carrying it purely for self-defense. Now, let's say I get into a situation where I may need more than this stick. Well, what I normally carry with me is a knife. That way I can do espada y daga, sword and dagger. But that's not always the case. I don't always have a knife like this that I carry where I can get to it quickly. I just do that for show purposes because not all of my knives have belt clips on them. So sometimes I have to dig for it, and I don't want to have to do that. And that's why, I always resort to carrying the stick over just a blade because I want a little backup. The knife is just secondary. But this is a little longer than normal sticks that I carry. This one comes up to about hip height, like my canes. which this is usually what I carry while I'm walking. The other ones I use for training. Sometimes I may carry them, but I prefer these because they're about the same length. Same length as my cane. That was not planned. It just went sliding right out of my head. I hope you covered your ears on that. And if you're wearing headphones, I'm sorry. Okay, now I got two more. The second to the last one is a traditional crook cane with a crook. And this is another one. I bought this at a thrift store for $3. Very solid. That's why I grabbed it. It's the right height. And it's made from a very solid wood. It's really going to be able to take an impact. And there's two ways I would carry it. One is like I would with the traditional crook cane, is my hand over the crook. Okay, my grip is basically over the crook part of the cane. The other way is I would carry it with the end of the crook sticking out toward my opponent. And the reason being is I may want to conceal my attack. This guy may be a little too close to what I would care for. So I would just flip the end of that cane straight up, right into his groin or his stomach. I want him to back up. You know, that's basically what that is. I'm just flipping it straight up. Two, I can, do the same thing, get back. I can use it like a tonfa. If you know what a tonfa is, it's a Japanese weapon, but yeah, you can pretty much utilize this like a tonfa. Now, if I don't need it for support, I may carry it like this, but I rarely do. I like the crooked canes mainly for the hook, and I like a wide crook. This one's just almost a little too thin. I like it a little bit wider, but this one will do. As long as I can hook an arm with it or a neck, that's really what I want to use it for, or a leg. I just want to make sure I'm able to get in there, because if this is too small, you're not going to be able to get it around an arm or leg or anything like that. But this is one of my go-tos. I really do like this one. This one's become a favorite when I'm out walking. Between that and the big walking stick, these two I like doing. Now the last one I have, you may ask yourself, Doug, what are you going to do if you are out and about and you don't have a cane? What are you going to do then? Well, I'm an old Boy Scout. I always come prepared. And when I'm walking, and like if I'm going somewhere where I need a little more support, I always have something with me. And in this bag, I have a cane. I carry see if I can get it out of here. I carry a collapsible cane. Sometimes with me because I have to have this bag with me wherever I go. I have to wear glasses both when I'm out and when I'm inside. I'm farsighted, so I need it for reading. And I have to wear sunglasses because I have degenerative. I have a degenerative eye disease, and I'm slowly growing blind. And the doctor suggested that I start wearing sunglasses when I'm out and about. So I have to do that. So I've been getting into the habit of also putting a cane in my bag with my glasses, so that if I am out and about and I don't have my cane, I've got one with me. This I use in a pinch. I don't always have it ready to go. It was my mom's, and I just kind of took it as one of my own. I like these for mainly one reason, and that's if you can see it, uh, it's got a straight handle on it. These are good for doing slot type fighting. And what I mean by that is you can use this, the butt end of the grip is kind of like a secondary hand. You can parry, you can strike with it. You can also use the other end to keep your opponents at bay. So you have actually on this you have two hands. You have one on both sides that you can use, and I like using that as a striking implement, a trapping implement. So uh, that comes in handy. Now, the one drawback to this is it will collapse on you if you don't make sure that the sections are all in there. So that's why when I open it, I always give it a little tap to make sure that it's solid. Because if I do strike someone with this, I want to make sure it's going to be uh, a solid strike, and not one where it comes undone while I'm using it. Because that would not be good. In fact, you can see, I don't know if you can see it on here, during training, I broke a piece off. I dropped it and part of that came off, so that's kind of a downside to it. But other than that, it served me well. I've taken it with me on a couple of trips. Um, so it does what I need it to, and that is support me while I'm walking. So it is good. All these are good for what I need it for. One of these days I have to put out a whole collection for you to see because I've got quite a bit, and I think they're one of the most universal weapons that's out there, and one of the most ancient, if you think about it. Man has been using walking sticks and canes to aid themselves in walking for many years, and I bet that's where the idea of a staff came from, where a spear came from. Was someone thought, hey, I can use this as a fighting implement as well as helping me to walk. So I take great pride in knowing how to use these, and and I take great pride in having them in my collection because a lot of these do have a story. In fact, the first cane, I don't have it out, but the first cane that got me started into collecting is my great grandfather's, and that's what started me into collecting canes and using them in everyday life and also as a self-defense tool. If you have any questions about what I've shown or uh, what you might be able to do for yourself if you yourself need one, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. Don't be afraid to ask down in the comment section. If you like this, please give a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please come subscribe to my channel. Like I always say, the more the merrier. This is Duger Does saying do good and deuces. Bye-bye.